Welcome to Farming Aid.
Across the United States, a growing number of farmers and homesteaders are turning back to cattle that can produce both high-quality milk and flavorful beef. It is a shift that many people outside agriculture have not noticed, yet it is reshaping small farms, regenerative ranching and direct-to-consumer food systems. These dual-purpose breeds are suddenly in high demand because they offer efficiency, resilience, and a level of versatility that modern farming needs more than ever. In this video we explore why 4 of the most productive dual-purpose cattle breeds are booming, what makes them such powerful milk and meat producers, and why they are becoming a hidden advantage for farms that want sustainable results. When people first encounter milking shorthorns, they often underestimate them because the name sounds old-fashioned or unfamiliar. Yet this breed has carved out a quiet renaissance across the United States. Milking shorthorns bring a reliable and steady milk flow that is rich enough to satisfy small creameries while still allowing calves to thrive by their side. The breed has a calm temperament that makes them ideal for smaller farms that rely on hands-on daily care. Their frame is sturdy enough to put on beef that finishes beautifully on both grass and mixed rations. They convert forage with ease, which means they help farmers cut feed costs without compromising production. Milking shorthorns have a long history in American dairy culture, but what is different now is the renewed respect they receive from farmers who want cattle with fewer complications. Their ability to maintain body condition through rough weather and modest feed fits perfectly with the growing interest in regenerative systems where cows need to graze wide areas and handle seasonal shifts without constant pampering. The reason they have become so valuable again is simple. They create a dependable foundation for small operations and flexible farms that need animals who can adapt, endure, and produce without fuss. Then there are the Dexters. This breed is small in stature, but its reputation among homesteaders has turned it into a phenomenon. Dexters originally came from Ireland and were shaped by a landscape that demanded hardy cattle with thrifty appetites. In the American context, they have become a favorite for families who want to raise their own milk and beef on limited acreage. Dexters produce milk that carries an impressive butterfat content, which makes home butter, cream, and cheese production an appealing part of the daily routine. Their small frame also means lower feed costs and easier handling for farmers who prefer gentle and manageable cattle. When it comes to beef, Dexters produce meat with fine texture and deep flavor. The yield surprise people who assume small cattle must automatically deliver small returns. What people often forget is that Dexter efficiency comes from genetics tuned for survival in tight spaces, not from industrial scale. In an era where many Americans are reclaiming small parcels of land for self-sufficiency, Dexters fit perfectly into a lifestyle that blends productivity with connection. Their popularity is booming because the breed gives families power over their own food systems while providing farmers a market for animals that appeal to homesteaders and niche beef buyers who appreciate flavorful meat raised with care. Few breeds carry as much visual impact as the belted galloway. Sometimes called Oreo cows because of their bold white belt wrapped around a dark body, these cattle have become icons of grass-based ranching and alternative agriculture. Galloways originate from rugged Scottish terrain, which shaped them into some of the toughest animals in the cattle world. They thrive on grass alone, which is a dream scenario for farmers committed to pasture-raised systems. Their double-layered coat allows them to tolerate cold climates with minimal stress, which means they conserve energy and maintain strong production even when winter presses hard. Although they are best known for their beef, belted galloways provide milk that is rich and suitable for small-scale dairy use. They are not intense producers, but the milk they offer can support calves effectively and can also supply households that prefer modest but steady yield. What has pushed belted galloways into the spotlight is the rising interest in grass-fed beef that delivers a refined marbling pattern without grain finishing. The breed's meat has a remarkable tenderness and clean flavor that appeals to chefs who want beef that feels distinctive without relying on heavy finishing rations. Consumers who seek beef raised on pure pasture often look for breeds that can perform without grain, and belted galloways excel under those expectations. Their striking appearance also makes them brand-friendly. Farmers who want eye-catching animals for agritourism or farmer market marketing find the breed particularly valuable. In many ways, the belted galloway has become the poster child for high-quality grass-fed operations that prioritize land health and animal resilience. Another powerhouse making a strong comeback is the brown Swiss. These cattle are famous in dairy circles for their durability and gentle nature, yet their beef-producing ability often catches newcomers off guard. The brown Swiss breed has one of the most balanced constitutions in livestock. Their milk contains exceptional protein ratios that are prized by artisan cheese producers. That high protein content translates into more cheese yield per gallon, which makes them especially useful for small dairies trying to stretch every drop. While Holsteins dominate industrial dairy, brown Swiss cattle have built a loyal following among farmers who want an animal that holds condition, handles heat stress well, and avoids the metabolic problems associated with high-intensity dairy production. Their beef quality has grown into a significant part of their modern value. Brown Swiss steers grow large frames with firm muscling and produce carcasses that finish beautifully without losing tenderness. They offer a balance that appeals to farms wanting one herd that can support both dairy processing and a steady flow of beef animals. Their calm disposition reduces labor stress and makes them suitable for farms where workers handle cattle up close. That combination of temperament, milk quality, and carcass traits has pushed brown Swiss back into the conversation as farmers search for animals who can reduce risk in a volatile agricultural economy. Across the United States, interest in dual-purpose breeds has risen for reasons that go far beyond nostalgia. Farmers have been searching for cattle that can stand up to economic pressure, changing weather patterns, and consumer expectations that shift toward traceability and higher welfare standards. Industrial specialization pushed many breeds into narrow roles. Dairy breeds were expected to produce enormous volumes of milk, and beef breeds were selected for rapid weight gain. Dual-purpose cattle became unfashionable for a time because they were not the champions of either extreme. But the world is different now. Small and mid-sized farms are rethinking what efficiency means. It no longer means forcing animals into artificial systems that strip them of natural resilience. It means building herds that do not collapse under stress, that do not require endless inputs, and that produce food with authentic character. Milking shorthorns, Dexters, belted galloways, and brown Swiss represent four different expressions of that shift. Milking shorthorns appeal to farmers who want consistency and gentle management. Dexters attract families and small landowners who appreciate versatility paired with lower input costs. Belted galloways thrive in grass-based operations focused on flavor and land stewardship. Brown Swiss offer a professional level of dairy power while still giving farmers beef that stands on its own. Each breed fills a slightly different need, yet they all benefit from the same momentum. Americans want food they can trace. They want farms that feel closer to nature. They want cattle that can graze real pastures and convert sunlight into nourishment without relying on complicated systems. These four breeds do exactly that. The boom in these cattle also reflects a growing confidence among producers who are investing in direct marketing. When a farmer sells meat or milk directly to consumers, the story behind the animal matters as much as the product itself. People want to know how cattle were raised. They want to understand the breed, the land, the methods, and the values that guide the farm. Dual-purpose cattle give farmers a strong narrative because their versatility reflects a kind of agricultural wisdom that resonates with modern buyers. Instead of focusing on a single output, a dual-purpose breed helps a farm stay flexible. A farmer can expand or contract milk production as demand shifts. They can finish more steers during seasons when beef sales peak. They can raise calves for replacement heifers or sell them to other farms trying to build their own resilient herds. Flexibility is a form of power that many small operations struggle to find. Economic trends also favor these breeds. Feed prices continue to fluctuate and grain costs often strike hardest at dairy farms locked into high production systems. Breeds like milking shorthorns and brown Swiss handle forage-heavy diets better than some specialized dairy breeds. This reduces vulnerability when feed bills spike. Grass-based ranching is gaining ground as research and consumer habits point toward environmental benefits tied to well-managed grazing. Belted galloways fit that model with almost uncanny ease. Meanwhile, the homesteading movement has grown from a fringe trend into a robust demographic that spans rural communities, suburbs, and even peri-urban fringes. Dexter cattle cater perfectly to families who want animals that are manageable, gentle, and productive without requiring vast acreage. There is also an emotional element behind the surge in dual-purpose breeds. People want cattle that feel like part of the landscape rather than industrial assets. They want breeds with heritage, personality, and presence. Each of the 4 cattle types rising in popularity today brings a distinct character to the farm. Milking shorthorns carry a kind of quiet reliability. Dexters charm people with their size and friendly nature. Belted galloways captivate anyone who sees them for the first time. Brown Swiss exude a calm, sturdy confidence that draws people in. These qualities might sound intangible, but they play a real role in how modern farmers choose livestock. When someone is working with animals every day, the experience matters. Cattle that behave well, stay healthy and interact safely make farm life sustainable in ways that high-output models often ignore. The rise of artisan food production also strengthens the appeal of these breeds. Cheese makers appreciate the milk from brown Swiss and milking shorthorns because it behaves beautifully in the vat. Home cooks enjoy cooking beef from belted galloways and Dexters because the flavor stands out even with simple preparations. Farmers selling through local markets love having an honest story about animals raised with intention. There is no need for clever marketing spin because the breeds themselves embody authenticity. That authenticity is what consumers search for in an era filled with confusing labels and corporate messaging. The story of these 4 breeds is ultimately a story about the future of American farming. It shows how old ideas can become new solutions when circumstances change. It shows how the traits that once helped cattle thrive in tough environments are now helping farmers survive in a demanding and unpredictable economy. Most of all, it shows that the future of food may not be about pushing animals to extremes, but about returning to balance. Dual-purpose cattle already understand that balance. Farmers are just catching up again. As more farmers, ranchers, and homesteaders look for livestock that can deliver dependable milk and high-quality beef without the heavy costs of specialized systems, these 4 dual-purpose breeds are becoming real game-changers. Their resilience, efficiency, and balanced production make them a smart fit for anyone building a more sustainable and self-reliant operation. If you are researching the best dual-purpose cattle for small farms, grass-based beef or homestead dairying, these breeds show why America is paying attention again. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more videos on cattle breeds, sustainable farming and practical livestock tips, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel and drop a comment below. Let me know which breed stood out to you and what topics you want covered next.